Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Dr. Adli. I will be the course coordinator for the subject of data analysis. So basically, I would like to explain to the students that we are actually I'll be teaching two methods. Well, one is actually seeing face to face. The other one is actually using the online distance learning. So probably you might be coming from one of the groups that I'll be teaching this semester. So if you are actually using online distance learning, so I can actually be contacted by using email, or probably we can be using WhatsApp as a medium of communication. So basically, I'd like to explain to you on the what would be we'll be actually looking at the content of data analysis. If you are actually a student taking a master's and also you're taking your PhD, so I like to say good luck to you. So there will be a long journey in you are actually will be uh, looking forward. So basically, this is one of the course that actually can assist you in actually finishing your PhD thesis or your master thesis in a short time, or in a very what you call it, you want to graduate on time, GOT. So basically, one of the idea is that you need to collect your data and then analyze the data, and this is a very important topic that you must enroll as a student, as a postgraduate students. When I was a student, I actually spent about a year, okay, taking a diploma, we call it a postgraduate diploma on social science research method. So hopefully that you will enjoy the session with me for this semester, and let's see what will be the contents that we will be actually facing on weekly basis. All right. Okay, so I'll just check first. Okay, so okay, all right. I'm not pretty sure are we at the same. Okay, now the name of the course is actually data analysis. So we will talk about data, then there will be various type of data. Then we need to actually understand what will be the data that we are going to collect, and then how are we going to analyze the data so that we can get a pretty good results, and also the result can support our hypothesis if you are using quantitative, or the result can actually propose a good proposition if you are using qualitative. So basically, your data analysis is one of your major component of your thesis. All right. So the course code is actually GAA. Okay, GAA 8023, and my name is Dr. Nur Adli Rizwan Shah bin Muhammad Dali. Okay, Dr. Nur Adli Rizwan Shah bin Muhammad Dali. All right, now I'll just try to see whether the cam is actually working. So okay, all right, so the rationale for the inclusion of the course, okay, in your PhD or your master's is actually for you to acquire knowledge, practical and professionalism, and lifelong learning skill, especially in research, because research is actually a process of you getting to know about what would be is actually happening in the world. So basically, it's actually something that which is we would like to, yeah, probably you need to do your PhD because you want to have a PhD, a doctor, a title, but it is actually more than just a certificate. It's actually you are trying to get some real knowledge about what is actually happening in the world. So this the course is offered in the first semester in for the first year, so which is quite reasonable for the new student to actually learn about data analysis. All right, so our lecture will be having about 24 hours of lecture. okay, and then we don't have any tutorial, and then the practical will be 18 hours, and then also others will be 24 hours, which is you will have to do your own work. And for the non-face-to-face, okay, we have 12 hours of non-face-to-face, and then the practical will be 10 hours, and then the others will be 34 hours. The credit value for the subject is 3 credit hours. So it is actually 3 credit hours. You don't have to have any prerequisite for you to enroll into this subject. All right, and the objective of the subject, we have 4 objectives. So basically, let's look at the first objective here. Right, the first objective is actually to familiarize students with concepts involved in statistical information, probability theory, various statistical distribution, confidence interval, and also hypothesis testing. Okay, so basically it's more about statistic. All right, and then number 2, actually to guide the students to analyze data and provide inferences for descriptive measures of statistical data. So this is also another part of quantitative analysis, okay, still. And then number 3 is to expose students to analyze quantitative and also qualitative data in a professional and also ethical manner. So here we start to involve with qualitative data. So basically, the first 2 objectives is actually more on the quantitative, but the third one is actually start to look into the qualitative aspect. And then the fourth objective is to encourage the student to apply different statistical techniques in their future research endeavors. So probably it's not being shown here that we are actually going to have some, what call it, experience, okay, on the qualitative and also on the quantitative data analysis. All right, so the learning outcome, okay, at the end of this course, student will be able to first, okay, the CLO1 is actually evaluate the relevancy and suitability of various data analysis technique and its application in research. So how do you actually use your data, and then how you want to apply it in your research, right? And then number 2 is actually construct various data analysis techniques by using statistical tools software. For example, here we'll be looking at the SPSS software. Probably we'll be touching also on the AMOS software, and also PLS, the partial least square, and also in vivo. So we'll do some basic, or we'll call it some introduction about this various software. All right. So after you have enrolled to this class, you know already how there are 4 we'll call it major software. 3 are for quantitative, and the other one is for qualitative. And CLO number 3 is actually follow professional and also ethical value related to data analysis, because when we deal with data, there are some ethical issues that we need to look into, because sometimes we want to have a very good data, and then sometimes we manipulate the data. That's why ethical issues are always there when we deal with data. And then number 4, produce a preliminary qualitative or qualitative data analysis results based on the proposed research area. So you have your own research area. So probably after you have attended the classes, then you know, okay, what would be the suitable data analysis that you want to use for your research. So will not be looking at the full we call it research. Probably you might want to have some pilot study or something like that, so that you can have some confidence in your data analysis afterwards. All right, and then the transferable skills here. First we look at the knowledge, practical, and then professional, and also lifelong learning. All right, the teaching and learning assessment strategy. So for the CLO1, okay, the teaching and learning strategy is lectures, and then the assessment strategy is written online quizzes and mid-tests. All right, the CLO2 would be the practical data analysis, and your assessment would be practical tasks. Okay, you will be given a project, and then you have to do it, and then then this is actually a practical test. And then CLO3 is actually giving you a project, and then you have to present it to the to me and also probably your supervisors. And then CLO4 would be the project, and also the assessment is we will actually assess the project that you have submitted. Okay, the synopsis of the subject is actually looking at the analysis and decision making is an important discipline which integrate the tools of quantitative and also qualitative analysis with decision making process, and emphasizes place on real life examples to develop the skill necessary to apply to relevant tools in both kind of analysis to derive optimum business and organizational decision making. Among the topics covered in the quantitative component are factor analysis, regression, MANOVA, ANOVA, and correlation, and probably some more, right? And then while for the qualitative component, in vivo or Atlas TR will be covered. And then the integration of statistical software decreases the need for manual computation. So you save a lot of time. If you do it manually, then you need to spend a lot of time as compared to use the software, right? I've done the qualitative analysis using a manual, so we have to do it. We have to post all the thematic analysis on the walls, and then there are so many stick-on notes in there. Then it's actually a very tiring process, and it's actually taking a lot of time. So if you can use software, it can actually be done in a much more efficient and much more faster. All right, and then the student can devote more time on the interpretation of results. So when you have lesser time on data analysis, you have more time on interpreting your results. Okay, students are however encouraged to master manual calculation also in order to appreciate the statistical concept. So probably if you have some time, you need to actually see the real formulas, and also how to calculate it for manually. All right, I know it's actually really difficult, but yeah, probably you need to understand a bit. Okay, you don't need to understand all, but you need to understand how it's actually being calculated. And then students are expected to be able to recognize this, the statistical approaches to adopt when presented with statistical data. Now, this is the one of the important part here. What would be the thing that you want to highlight, and what will be the things or the figures that you need to present in your presentation. All right, therefore they are expected to be able to recognize the business problems, formulate hypotheses, and determine test methods and statistics involved, and provide appropriate interpretations in order to be able to impact advice based on the presented data. At the end of the course, you will be able to develop scientific research and also read other research work effectively and professionally, so you can understand other journals, other authors writing in journals, and why actually they write like that, and then how they actually presented their data. So the mode of delivery is lecture, practical data analysis, and also project. All right, so now let's look at assessment type and methods and also types. So for the CLO1, okay, lecture will be 36, okay, student learning time. The assessment will be written, online quizzes, and mid-test, and the weightage is 40%, right? 40% comes from here. And then for practical data analysis, your student learning time is actually 28 hours, and the practical test is 30%. And then for project, okay, there will be 12 hours of student learning time. Your presentation will be 10% from the total marks. And then for the project, okay, it will be 18 student learning time, 18 hours. And then the project report is actually consists of 20% of your total marks. So total altogether is 100%. And then your total student learning time is 94 hours. Okay, 94 hours. All right. So these are the breakdown of the CLO and the continuous assessment. We have 40 for the CLO1, 30 for the CLO2, 10 for CLO3, and also 20% for CLO4. All right. So when we look at the detail, okay, for the detailed content outline of the course or module and the CLT per topic, okay, for the first week we will actually covering on an introduction into data analysis. All right, so we have lecture, face-to-face of 2 hours, and non-face-to-face of 1 hour, and total credit is on 3 hours. All right. And for week 2, we will have a topic on collecting and preparation of data. So this will be 2 hours of face-to-face and 1 hour of non-face-to-face. For the third week will be data analysis, feeling and goodness of fit, right? The same, okay. And then we have introduction to quali and also quantity analysis, all right. And then we have in week 5 regression analysis. Okay, we have also hierarchical linear regression, stepwise linear regression. And then for the week 6 is MANOVA, ANOVA, t-test, and chi-square. And week 7 will be factor analysis, the principal component analysis, exploratory analysis. And week 8 we have entered into the qualitative research, which is thematic and also narrative. And week 10 will be content and phenomenology, and week 11 will be grounded and also analytic induction. Week 12 will be hermeneutic and also end domain. Right, so I will actually have what I call it some theory part, and then we will also have the practical part. Okay, for example, if we have to do or to use SPSS, then we have to use the SPSS, PLS, and also MOS. And also in vivo. So you need to have to acquire the specific what call it software, then which can be downloaded from the University Science Islam Malaysia website. So please go there and then download all the software. However, you can only access to the software when you are in the campus. When you are out from the campus, you cannot use the software anymore because the license is actually based on the IP address of the particular location. All right, so the main reference for this topic, I will be actually open to any what I call it reference that you find from the library. But for the for this course, the book suggested is Umar Sekaran, Research Method for Business, a Skill Building Approach from Wiley. And then we have Will Jarry's Foundation of Qualitative Research, Sharaz Muhammad Saleh, Tahlil al-Ihsal li al-Bayanat, SPSS. This is for Arabic. Okay, and then you have also Joali. Okay, this is for also SPSS. Palin, okay, this is in English. Tabanik is actually using multivariate statistic, and also this is Stein and also Richard DeVock. All right, so I also have a book that I've written, but this book is written in Malay language. All right, it is written in Malay language. If however you are interested to get the book, okay, this book, Belajar Mudah, Analisa Data dengan Mudah by Dr. Ali, which is me. Alright, so this book can be ordered from me, okay, it will be printed, okay, once you have ordered it. So this is actually having a step-by-step, okay, step-by-step using SPSS, okay, and also data is actually being what call it provided for the usage of with the book. Right, so it's written in Bahasa Malaysia, a simple Bahasa Malaysia language. All right, so if you are a native using Bahasa Malaysia as a native language, I'm suggesting for you to get this book, and then you can actually use it for your research. Okay, with that, I thank you. So that's only a bit of introduction about this course, data analysis subject, and I hope I can see you in the next video or class. With that, I thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi